What's up, guys? Back again from last week. This time with, kind of a different video. But I'll get into a second. I have a new can of Copenhagen Wintergreen today. Put in a lip real quick, and then I'll talk about everything that's going on. If you've been following my Twitter, you probably know what this is about. So, holy shit. I think it's the one Copenhagen can that doesn't have a pinch already taken out of it. Oh, yeah, it does. Alright. So, if you guys have been following the news, probably have heard at least something about Ferguson Riots. If you don't know what the Ferguson Riots are, basically what happened was about 45 minutes from where I live in Ferguson, Missouri. This kid named Michael Brown was shot by a police officer, and of course the kid's black, police officer's white. Eyewitnesses come out and say, he was running, he was cooperating, he had his hands up, saying, "I give up, don't shoot." That he was running away from the officer and all that stuff, which caused everybody to go fucking insane. And pretty much what happened was the whole city of Ferguson just broke out in fucking chaos. People were looting. People burned down a Quick Trip, which is a gas station over here. I don't know if they have it in other states. I don't know. And a Domino's. Why they burned down a Domino's and a Quick Trip, I have no fucking clue. What that solves is beyond me. It makes no sense to burn down a fucking Quick Trip or a Domino's because somebody was shot by police. I mean, if they were going to burn down a building, you'd think they would go for, like, the police department or something. No. They're going to go for the Domino's and the Quick Trip because fuck logic. So basically what happened was, after that happened, the city of Ferguson enacted a curfew. And Governor Nixon declared a state of emergency in Ferguson, Missouri. The curfew, I think, was like midnight or something, which I'm just going to go out and throw out there. I called it from the beginning that curfew was going to do absolutely fucking nothing. These people were burning down buildings for no fucking reason. Why would they listen to a curfew? Obviously, it didn't work. Again, they had to, use pepper spray or tear gas or whatever on fucking rioters and shit. And that was when they burned down the Domino's. They burned down the Quick Trip first, then they enacted the curfew, and then that night they burned down a Domino's. Then, I mean, this was kind of earlier in it, but a lot of you probably know who the group Anonymous is. They're a group of, well, I would say organization, but you have to be organized. They're a group of hackers, random fucking hackers across the country who just decide they want to be a part of it, pretty much, that call themselves activists, which what they really are cyber terrorists. That, in my opinion, hide behind this false moral compass of we believe in what's right, when really all they want to do is just take down the government, which, I mean, I'm conservative, I don't agree with government, but that's not the way to do it. They shut down the Ferguson City website, and they released the name of the officer who shot him that police didn't want to release. But they didn't release the name of the officer. They released the name of a manager of a fucking store. I think it was a Quick Trip. I don't know. That's what I heard. I heard it was a manager of a Quick Trip whose information they released. They released his address, his fucking phone number, and all that shit. And that's when police came out and gave out the name of the officer, which I'm not going to do because I'm not sure I have it correct completely. It's Darren something. But, so I don't know why they even got fucking involved. Everybody was crying, oh, it's an injustice. You know, that shit. But when they did the autopsy, 3 autopsies have been done. The family had requested like 2 extra autopsies just to make sure everything was legit because they didn't think, you know, what they came up with was right, I guess. But as far as I know, all 3 autopsies have shown that he was shot at least 6 times. All the shots entered the front of his body, and the fatal shots were to the top of the head and somewhere else, which in the people who did the autopsy all said those are signs that he was rushing the officer, that he was running towards the officer. And basically the story that has been released of the actual events that happened was he robbed a convenience store. They called it a strong arm robbery. And an officer saw him, knowing that he matched the description of the person who robbed the convenience store. So he stopped him, arrested him. No. From what I've heard, I heard he arrested him, but no. From what I heard recently, he stopped the Michael Brown, got into the police car and started hitting the officer, and then the officer tried to reach for the officer's gun. The officer pulled his gun, and he ran off, and then he turned around and ran back at the officer, and that's when the officer shot him. The officer, from what I've heard, has one side of his face is swollen, and on the other side he has a broken eye socket, which clearly shows that clearly shows that obviously something happened to the officer, which means he's the only one who could have done it. I'm pretty sure the fucking officer didn't break his own goddamn eye socket. I'm pretty sure the officer didn't make his face swell just to protect himself. My opinion is, if you rush an officer and hit him in the face, you deserve to get shot. You're going to get shot. That's what has to happen. Because anytime people have to understand something. Anytime an officer has fear for his life, which if you break his eye socket, that's fear for his life. He's authorized to use deadly force. He can shoot you if he wants. And some raw footage came to light, and I'll see if I can find it after I get done with this video, where you can hear people talking about what happened, and you hear one guy will ask, well, how did he get there? And the other guy's like, well, he was running from the officer, and he turned around and came at the officer and got shot or whatever, something like that. So that's proof right there that what the eyewitnesses came out and said is completely untrue. They're just trying, to make the police look like they're doing something bad. Basically what this is it's turning into another Rodney King case. And if you guys aren't familiar with Rodney King, he took police on a fucking long-ass police chase, and the police beat the shit out of him, and he kept trying to get up and all that shit. If you don't know more about it, go research it and figure out what happened. Make sure your sources are credible, because there's a lot of people that say that Rodney King did nothing wrong. I don't justify what the officers did in the Rodney King case, but I understand why they did it. So basically, this whole fucking situation has been escalated for no reason, because it is an injustice. The kid is not this model citizen that people make him out to be. There's pictures on his Facebook of him throwing up gang signs and shit. He obviously had something, he was worried about, because he attacked the fucking officer. If an officer stops you thinking you robbed a convenience store and you didn't rob a convenience store, you're not going to attack the officer. You're going to say, no, I didn't rob a convenience store. You can take me in and we can prove that. But if you don't know much about it, research the whole case. And I figured I had to throw in my 2 cents, and I figured it'd be a good video to make because it's finally something I have to talk about. So that's pretty much all I have. Just to recap, this kid was shot by the officer and fucking riots ensued. I believe it's still a state of emergency down in Ferguson, Missouri, and St. Louis. But just keep up with the news, guys. You know, I'm not a fan of government or, you know, our justice system, because for being someone who's studied the justice system, I know it's flawed. But the only way for the justice system to work is to let it work. You can't take things into your own hands and all that shit. And that's what a lot of people are saying. And all these people who say, oh, people need to take things in their own hands, and you know, you can't leave the law up to the police officer. That's bullshit. Unless you 100% know that what you're doing is not against the law, and you have researched it. If an officer tells you you are breaking the law, fucking listen to him. Don't, you know, don't rush an officer. That's the moral of the story. Do not be stupid. Don't be a fucking idiot. There's a lot of words I can say about this kid, but a lot of them I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying on YouTube. So I'll leave you guys with that. As always, like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Stay tuned for my next video, and keep on dipping and spitting. See you guys later.